There's a certain quiet in the way the morning light spills through our kitchen window, catching the steam rising from my coffee mug in a lazy dance. I'm John, 32 years old, and I've spent the last 6 years building a life with the most incredible woman I know, Malie. She's 30. A graphic designer with a spirit that used to burn wild and untamed, always chasing the next big idea or adventure. These days, though, I've watched that fire flicker under the weight of routine. Our suburban home just outside Chicago feels like a cozy cage, sometimes safe, warm, but predictable. Work, dinner, Netflix, repeat. I love her more than I can put into words, but I miss the woman who dragged me out at midnight to stargaze on a whim or sketch wild dreams on napkins at Stort Sheet. At hole-in-the-wall diners, I'm sitting at our kitchen table. Now, the wood scratched from years of shared meals and late-night talks. Watching Emily as she hunches over her tablet, her stylus moving with that focused grace I've always admired. Her dark hair falls over one shoulder, and every so often she tucks it back with an absent-minded flick. She doesn't know I'm staring, doesn't know my heart's racing with a mix of thrill and dread. I've been turning an idea over in my mind for weeks, something big for her birthday. Something to shatter the monotony and pull that adventurous side of her back to the surface. It's bold, way outside her comfort zone, and honestly, mine too. I want her to achieve something extraordinary, a personal milestone she can look back on and say, I did that. But I'm terrified. I can still feel the nervous energy buzzing through me as I sit across from Emily at our favorite Italian spot, Bella Not, on the evening of her birthday. The dim lighting casts a warm glow over the checkered tablecloth, and the rich scent of garlic bread fills the air, mingling with the faint tang of marinara. Emily's eyes, those deep hazel pools I've lost myself in 1,000 times, catch the flicker of the candle between us, and they light up with a spark I haven't seen in too long when I slide a small, velvet-lined gift box across the table. Inside, there's no jewelry or trinket, just a folded, handwritten note. I watch her delicate fingers unfold it, her lips curving into a curious smile as she reads my words. An unforgettable experience awaits next weekend. Something to push your boundaries, a memory we'll never let go of. Her brow furrows. In that adorable way it does when she's puzzled, and then she bursts into a laugh, tossing out wild guesses. What is it, John? Skydiving, a last-minute trip to some tropical island. I just grin, playing it cool, and shake my head. You'll have to trust me, Em. I've got this. I reach across the table, my hand finding hers, her warmth grounding me as I feel her excitement start to build, mirroring my own. The days that follow are a blur of anticipation. I'm sneaking around, making hushed phone calls when she's out of earshot, double-checking every detail of the plan. Emily's on too. Me, though, she keeps peppering me with questions, her voice teasing but edged with genuine curiosity. Come on, just a hint as I lead Emily through the heavy, unmarked door of the private club. A wave of anticipation washes over me. The interior is exactly as I remembered from my first discreet visit, dimly lit, with dark wood paneling that seems to absorb the faint amber glow of the sconces on the walls. There's a lingering scent of cigar smoke, subtle but distinct, mixing with the polished leather of the armchairs tucked into shadowy corners. This place exudes an air of exclusivity, a hidden gem I stumbled upon through a secretive online forum. It's members only, a sanctuary for those seeking experiences beyond the ordinary. Curated for the bold and the curious. I glance at Emily, her hazel eyes wide as she takes it all in, her hand warm in mine. I can feel her pulse quickening, mirroring my own. I lean in close, my voice low as I start to explain. This is a special kind of event, Em. It's about setting a personal record, something daring. Something ... intimate. I've arranged for a group of participants to help you achieve it. Her brow furrows, just like it did at Bella Not when she read my note, confusion etching across her face. But there's a spark of curiosity, too. That old adventurous spirit I've missed so much. I don't reveal everything yet. I want her to feel the mystery, to let her imagination wander as I guide her deeper into the club. Past hushed conversations and knowing glances from other members, we reach a private room, and I push the door open, revealing a setup that's as peculiar as it is deliberate. In the center, there's a bed, but it's positioned halfway through a wall, creating a barrier. One side of the bed is in this room, softly lit and intimate, while the other side disappears into the unknown beyond the divide. Emily stops short, her breath hitching as she tries to make sense of it. I can see the questions forming in her mind, and I know it's time to lay it all out. My heart pounds as I turn to her, my voice steady despite the storm of nerves inside. Me, on the other side of that wall, there are 32 men. I'm sitting here on my side of the wall, the soft light casting faint shadows across the intimate space. My hand wrapped tightly around Emily's, her fingers tremble slightly, each squeeze. A silent conversation between us as she navigates this extraordinary moment. I can feel every pulse of her energy, every shift in her grip, like she's anchoring herself to me while stepping into uncharted territory. My heart's pounding, not just from nerves, but from the sheer weight of being here with her, witnessing something so raw and personal. On the other side of this divide, I hear the muted voices, the shuffle of feet, an occasional murmur of encouragement drifting through like whispers in a dream. It's surreal, knowing what's happening just beyond my sight, yet all I can see is Emily, her face, her upper body, framed by the edge of the wall. Her expressions flicker between nervousness, her brow creasing with tension, to a steely focus that takes my breath away. It's like watching her rediscover that wild spirit I've missed for so long, right here in this charged electric atmosphere. Her breathing keeps shifting, sometimes quick and shallow, like she's bracing herself, other times deep and steady. A rhythm of resolve. I lean in close, my voice barely above a whisper, telling her she's amazing, that I'm so proud of her for taking on this challenge. I mean every word, and I hope she can feel it in the way I hold her hand, in the way I'm right here, unwavering. There's a moment, after what I think is the 5th or 6th participant, when she turns her head to look at me. Her hazel eyes are glassy, shimmering with emotion. But there's a small smile tugging at her lips, a quiet triumph that hits me right in the chest. I reach out, brushing a strand of damp hair from her face, and in that touch, there's a surge of connection, a reminder of why we're here, pushing boundaries together. It's not just about the event. It's about us, about her reclaiming a piece of herself. Time feels strange in this room. It stretches endlessly, each second heavy with anticipation. Yet as the final moments unfold, I'm still right here, holding Emily's hand, feeling the weight of every second that's passed in this small, charged room. The last participant on the other side of the wall steps back, and a profound hush falls over both sides, like the world itself is holding its breath. The muffled sounds that had filled the space, soft murmurs, the shuffle of movement, fade into an almost sacred silence. It's just us now, the air thick with the aftermath of something monumental. I look at Emily, her chest rising and falling with uneven breaths, and I can sense the tension draining from her body. She turns her head slowly, her face flushed and glistening with sweat. But there's a glow in her expression, a radiant, triumphant smile that pierces straight through me. I lean in without thinking, pressing a gentle kiss to her forehead, tasting the salt of her exertion, and I whisper against her skin, "You did it." M32. A personal record we couldn't have dreamed of just days ago. Her eyes, heavy with exhaustion, shimmer with something brighter, pride, maybe, or sheer disbelief at her own strength. She squeezes my hand, her grip firm despite the tremble, and lets out a tired, breathy laugh. "I can't believe I did that," she murmurs, her voice raw but laced with wonder. I help her sit up, my hands steady on her shoulders as she sways. Slightly, the weight of the experience still settling over her. I grab a soft blanket from nearby and drape it around her, cocooning her in warmth as she leans into me, her body seeking the comfort of familiarity. The club staff moves quietly in the background, their presence discreet as they ensure everything is tidied up, respecting the intimacy of this moment. I reach over to the small camera I'd set up earlier, my fingers lingering on the button for a second before I switch it off. That footage, it's a testament to this night, a memory captured in its rawest form, something we'll look back on with a mix of awe and reverence. I secure the device, tucking it safely away, my mind already racing with the significance as we drive home in the early hours of the morning. The city lights blur past us in streaks of gold and white, like fleeting memories of the night we've just lived through. I'm behind the wheel, my hands steady but my mind still reeling, while Emily rests her head on my shoulder, her breathing slow and heavy with exhaustion. The weight of her against me feels like an anchor, grounding me after everything we've towned, wimed out, everything we've experienced. Neither of us speaks much. Words seem unnecessary right now, drowned out by the hum of the engine and the quiet intimacy of just being together. Every so often, I glance down at her, catching the faint curve of her lips, a ghost of that triumphant smile from earlier, and my heart swells with a mix of pride and tenderness. When we finally get home, the familiar creak of our front door feels like a sigh of relief. We collapse onto the couch, still wrapped in the haze of the night, and I hand Emily a mug of chamomile tea, the steam curling up between us like a shared secret. She cradles it in her hands, her fingers tracing the edge of the cup, and after a long sip, she starts to open up. Her voice is soft, still a little raw, as she tells me how she felt during those intense hours at the club. "At first, I was so nervous, John," she admits, her hazel eyes meeting mine with a vulnerability that tugs at me. "I thought I'd freeze up, that I couldn't go through with it. But then, something shifted. I felt this rush, this power, like I was taking control of something bigger than myself. By the end, I was thrilled. I'd pushed myself further than I ever thought possible." She pauses, her gaze dropping to the tea, then adds with a quiet certainty, "I'd do it again." No question. That confession hits me like a jolt of electricity, sparking a rush of thoughts about what other edges we might dare to explore. Together, what other hidden desires we might uncover in each other in the days that follow. We find ourselves drawn back to that captured memory, the footage I secured from the night. We watch it together. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.